It is Monday, August 8th, 2022, 8/8/22. If you're into numbers, 8/8. I remember 8/8. I'm from Illinois. I've grown up here my whole life. 8/8 was the date that Wrigley Field, Chicago, the Cubs, they had lights installed. 8/8/88 is when it was. August 8th, 1988. And I remember that date. It was just one of those things, you know, to where the number, you don't forget it. But yeah, for a long time, that was the Cubs. They had to have daytime ball games. They had Harry Carey announcing. I mean, if you're not familiar with that, you know, and some people outside of Illinois and this whole area, man, having a bad hair day. It's so humid, and it's been so humid. I saw Mitch in his video today, my neighbor Mitch, Motivational Mitch. He made a video talking about the humidity. Yeah, it's been humid, very humid. So I'm having a bad hair day. But speaking of Illinois, and yeah, Illinois, a lot of humidity and heat. You know, you think, oh, well, I said it last week. You get the extremes here in Illinois. You get those northern blasts, those polar pushes down in the winter. It gets cold, and then you get the Gulf moisture coming up. You're kind of in that sweet spot of the country where you're just getting compressed from both sides, and it's hell on earth. Why would you live in Illinois? It's like, well, look around. You know, there's a main reason, downstate anyway. You know, it's pretty rural and a lot of small towns and good people. So it's not what is portrayed on the, Illinois is not Chicago. Chicago is not Illinois. Even though much of the voting goes that way, most of the state is not that way. A lot of rural areas when you drive around. Getting to the southern part, it gets rolling hills, and it's nice. It's really a beautiful state. Yeah, you got that population center up to the northeast that causes problems, and it's like that with all states, you know. And then people will say, well, if you didn't have Chicago, you wouldn't have an economic engine. And I'm like, well, if we didn't have downstate, you wouldn't eat. So, you know, look at it that way. But all big cities are problems because they're just structurally by nature a problem, because you've got that many people concentrated in one area that the resources it takes, the concentration of resources that it takes to make that function, you know, it's a difficult process logistically. And so, you know, they vote a certain way because they need to be dependent and they need centralized authority, or they feel like they do, to where, well, I got to have the plumbing and the sewer, you know, and the pipes, you know. And then you get out here and it's like, well, you got to have a septic that works, and you got to have your own well, and you got to have your own well pump. And, you know, you think differently because you are much more independent and decentralized, like cryptocurrency, decentralized. Not all crypto is decentralized, but anyway, I'm just rambling, you know, off on tangents. But 8/8/88. The Cubbies, but like I was saying, Harry Carey, everybody knows Harry Carey around here. Holy cow, you know, that was the whole thing he would say, and he used to announce for the Cubs. And it was growing up, I mean, it's one of those childhood memories that I just love, you know. And I'm not into sports now. I'm into cigar smoking, which this is a second, Oliva seconds, you know, because it's got flaws and imperfections, but I'm not sure exactly what label was originally on it. It's got like a sweet tip, which I'm not sure if I like, but it's got a good flavor. But yeah, childhood memory of Harry Carey watching the Cubs. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's one of those things that you don't forget. And just a different time. And we all say that as we get older. It's a different time. But we definitely see things becoming much more depersonalized because of the technology, I think. With, you think metaverse, you know, people talk about what's the metaverse. It's no different than when people got online in the 90s, you know, mid to late 90s, and they got chat rooms and they're communicating back and forth and they're playing games, spending all this time on computers. Well, this just takes it to the next level, to where you're stepping outside of your reality, you know, normal things that you can touch, feel. You're stepping outside of that and you're immersing yourself into this computer world, this digital world. It just takes it to the next level with the metaverse, to where you can wear the goggles. I mean, you're completely in this world and meeting people and, you know, assaulting people, because that happens. You know, ladies get in there and then guys are hitting on them, you know, and assaulting them in the virtual world just like they do the real world. So don't think that it's an escape from reality. It's not. We have to realize that there is no escape. People say, well, we just need to leave Earth. We need to go to Mars. We need to go to other planets and colonize those. Well, what are you going to do? Just colonize them and do the same bad things that you've done here that you haven't figured out? You know, you got to give that some thought and realize, there we go. You know, welcome to the heartland. But you just got to realize that, how's it going to be any different there if you haven't changed? If people haven't changed, how's it going to be any different in the metaverse? and you think you're going to escape reality, but you're still dealing with people. And that's the thing, you know, and until you can start dealing with people and realizing all the flaws and, you know, how to handle it, and it's just going to keep going no matter where you're at. So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So this metaverse isn't going to save everybody. Next thing, you'll be in a matrix situation where you'll be hooked up to feeding tubes in a pod, you know, and your mind is just, you know, there. And there's all kinds of sci-fi movies about that. So I don't know if that's the thing. It's probably better to experience real life things, in my opinion. That's why I'm right where I'm at. I want to get into the Blackrock stuff. You know what? I want to come back to the whole city thing and the versus country thing. It's not city versus country. It's the decision. It's the infrastructure, the things you need to produce for a city. But let's talk about crypto for a little bit. Blackrock is partnering with COINBASE, which COINBASE is where I first bought crypto. I mean, way back. It's been a platform that it's allowed a lot of people to get into cryptocurrency. Now, it's got its issues. I mean, support's not that good. And, you know, it takes a lot of time to get your crypto sometimes. But I've always been able to get my crypto off when I purchased it. And that's an important thing. Don't let them custody it for you. Take the crypto off and put it in your possession. But BlackRock, huge. I mean, I think the biggest investment house out there, $1 trillion or some ridiculous trillions. I don't even know what they have under management. A lot of money. And they're getting into crypto. They probably already are. It's just they want to have a bigger bridge into it, you know, and COINBASE is going to allow that bigger funnel to funnel the cryptos out to BlackRock. It's a thing you got to watch out for. The reason why I got into crypto is the decentralization part of it. We'll get back to that. You know, being able to take control of your money, being able to hold it in your own possession, not having some centralized party control it like a bank. And then you have to ask for permission to get your own money back. Not a good thing. So what's going to happen if BlackRock gets in? Now think, okay, I'm BlackRock. All right, I got trillions. Smoking a cigar that won't go out. You know, a big fat cigar, about Padron or something, you know, Padron, I don't even know how to say it. $20+ cigar instead of this one, you know, the seconds. So I'm sitting in my room thinking, hey, you know, my office, you know, whatever, at the poker table thinking, you know, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get the more crypto out of these people? Because there's only so much to go around. There's only so much LITECOIN. There's only 84 million. How are we going to get it from these people? Well, there's a partner with COINBASE. Kind of like cross-eyed there. I was looking at it, trying to see if it was smoking. Must be like these royalty, you know, these people behind the scenes are all inbred, because, you know, cross-eyed, you know, problems. So that's what they do, though. They intermarry families and they get a little stupid. Look at these royal families. Let's call them flower because they're inbred. So anyway, if you're BlackRock sitting around thinking, you know, how are we going to get these cryptos away from people? Again, it's a finite supply of Bitcoin, Litecoin. What are we going to do? You partner with COINBASE. You know, that's a big ramp into it. And so then you think, okay, well, how are you going to get the crypto out of their hands? Well, maybe you convince them to keep custody in COINBASE. Oh, it's safe. Maybe you scare them out of it because, you know, when you have access, that kind of money, you have friends and, you know, the whole network at the top, you're not part of the club kind of thing, and they make the rules. They own all the media. So the next thing you know, you start dumping on crypto and releasing bad news about cryptocurrency and, oh, it's horrible. It's going to go to zero. Oh, it's going to get regulated. It's this and that. And you scare people out of it. And they're just sitting there waiting. You know, they got the trap set, and then you're just going in, dropping your crypto, and COINBASE vacuums it all up and shoom, throws it right into BlackRock's pocket. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's going to happen. So they're just taking it to the next level. They want to accumulate those cryptocurrencies. They want it in their possession. See, that's the problem. I start talking, I don't have a good burn on it, and the next thing you know, it's out. But if you're a big player and you realize where things are going and you understand that cryptocurrency is the way that it's going to go, because it has to, because we're digital and it's the most efficient way to send payments back and forth. It's all transparent on the blockchain. I mean, it solves all the problems, the ledgers, you know, and the accounting. I mean, it's all done. It's all done for you. and the efficiency of it. They understand that. So they want it. They want the finite assets. They want the things that there's only so many of them to go around, like the artwork that they collect. They want those things, and then they want to make them unattainable for you. At some point, it's going to get really hard to get these cryptocurrencies. It's going to get really hard to get things like Litecoin. Again, I talk about it. I'm standing out here by the shower. Mitch built a shower here. Some of you have seen it. It's an outdoor shower. It's pretty cool. You fill the tank up and sits out. And my daughter took a shower in it this week, and she got all muddy. We were playing outside. She playing with the dogs. She came out and took a shower, you know, and rinsed off, got her mud off, and you know, it's pretty handy. It's also handy to HODL fuel. Miss HODL fuel. Coffee. It's got a shelf here. It's handy to set the coffee on, so that's why I'm positioned in this location today. As I just ramble on today, might be an hour video at this point. So to get those finite assets, you know, like a Litecoin with 84 million, there's only 84 million that's going to exist, and you know, I've done the math before ad nauseum, but that's 0.01, a hundredth of a Litecoin for every person in the world. So you know, say they pick up 1,000, 100,000 Litecoin. I mean, look at the position that puts them into. They understand what rare assets are, and they're going to collect them. That's what they do. They're collectors. You know, these people that are wealthy, they want things. They want objects. They want things that other people can't get. And then there's never enough. They want more of it. You know, they want more oil wells. They want, you know, they just want more railroads. They want to control everything because it's just in their nature to want to control things. Because if you can control it, it makes it harder for the people, us, to wake up and take it from them and realize that they've kind of robbed it from us. And so they want to control everything, and that way, you know, hopefully they beat us down so that we just work to survive and tread water and never have enough time to pay attention to what they've done to us. Anyway, so Blackrock getting into crypto is, I guess, a double-edged sword. Price will go up eventually. They're going to use the manipulation like it's been done for the past, I mean, since 2017 really. Get people into it, then fleece them, buy the cryptos cheap, you know, and just continue those market cycles of emotion and take the crypto from you. Because at some point, people are going to sell out. You know, you've got your sell price. You know, you buy Litecoin at $50, $60 now, and it's up a little bit today, maybe $64. And you maybe bought it at $40 a month or so ago. And you've got that. At what point, you know, if it hits $500, what are you going to do? You're over 10 times up, and you think, you know what, I can make a lot of life-changing decisions with this. Or it hits $1,000 or $1,500. All these numbers are coming. It's just a matter of time. And so it's just like, how long do I have on this earth? You know, and you weigh, okay, do I take it now and do things with my life, or do I hold it? You know, it depends on where you're at in life. Everybody's got a price, usually. Everybody has a price to where it's like, you know what, this brings me a lot of freedom. I can use this money, you know, that's gone up in value as a tool to get things that I need, to pay off my house, to, you know, get that automobile that I need, to, you know, that truck, you know, to haul things in, you know, for my job. I mean, to get, you know, a year's supply of food, or, you know, dig a well, or, you know, put in a new septic, put a cabin in the woods, you know, on 40 acres away from everybody, and own it. When you have those opportunities to become free in life, and cryptocurrency gives it to you, you're probably going to take those opportunities, or you probably should take some of those opportunities, because ultimately, isn't that what it's about? It's about being free, and the money makes you free because you hold it and you maintain that purchasing power over time. See, they have unlimited time, these entities like Blackrock, these royal families, you know, the families that run things. They have plenty of time. So ultimately, they're going to accumulate as much as they can and get as much as they can. And they're going to win. That's how they win. See, we can win too because we can accumulate too. And it's just a matter of what our long-term thinking is, short-term thinking is, you know, what we want to use that money for, what freedom boxes we want to check off. And at some point, there will come a price. Hey, it's a $5,000 Litecoin. Yeah, that sets me and my family up for generations, so I'm going to do something with that. Now, you can leave it in Litecoin, but the thing is, you know, there are tangible assets that you need. You need food. Some people need land, property. They need more property. They want to do certain things on that property. Me, I want to do certain things on this property, making it a sanctuary, making it, you know, a lot of people know what I'm doing. And that's we all have those places where we want to, you know, off-ramp the crypto, and they're going to be sitting there waiting to take that, and they're going to accumulate that because they're very long-term thinkers. And ultimately, you know, when you've got a new form of money like Litecoin or Bitcoin, you know, it becomes a gold standard, and, you know, countries are swapping value in it and settling debts in it, you know, you probably want to have that, and they're probably going to have a lot of it. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. There's a buyer to sell that Litecoin to at some point when you're ready to leave the system. Not all completely leave the system, but, you know, take profit, I guess you could say, do something with it. But there's the other side of it to where they want to get it all. And once they have a lot of it, a good share of it, you know, it's just like controlling the monetary system. It's probably not a good thing for humanity. So it's just philosophical things we're talking about now. But the key is you've got an asset now like you've never had before, to where you can hold it in your own possession and you can transfer it at any point around the world uninterrupted. Nobody can stop you from sending Litecoin. No bank, no central government. If you hold it, now if you let COINBASE hold it, you got a problem. But if you hold it in your own wallet, you can do whatever you want with it. And that's the empowering thing. The wealthy know how empowering that is. They don't want you to be empowered. They want those tools. They want those weapons. Not necessarily because they need the power, but indirectly it gives them power because you don't have it. That's what they want. They don't want you to be free. They don't want you to have power to control your life. They don't want you to be sovereign. So ultimately, I see it as a negative thing, but you can make a positive out of it. Free yourself. Use those tools to free yourself. Those cryptos to free yourself. I was going to talk a little bit about, man, there's a lot of things to talk about. There's the, maybe I'll make another video. I was going to talk about the Inflation Reduction Bill or Act, or the thing that Congress passed over the weekend. And, you know, you got President Joe Biden. You know, this really irritates me. I'll talk about it. This really irritates me. I saw him do a press conference bragging about all the things, you know, all the great things. Oh, we've created 10 million jobs, and gas is down 50 days in a row, and how great he's doing. The thing is, though, it's still way up from when you first started. Getting some sprinkles here. Interesting. Doesn't look like there's a lot up there, but here they come. But he's standing there in sunglasses, you know, giving a press conference wearing his aviators or whatever, sunglasses. And it's like, to me, that's just absolutely rude. I had my daughter, you know, had a date with a boy. I mean, this has been last year sometime. He came over and I met him for the first time, gets out of the car, doesn't take his sunglasses off. Now, to me, that's very inconsiderate and very disrespectful. My buddy Mitch, you know, across the street had a video about respect today. And to me, wearing those sunglasses when you're trying to be honest with somebody tells me you're not being honest with them. And that's just my take on it. When you're the president of the United States and you are talking to the American people and you're wearing sunglasses, I mean, you're not looking somebody in the eye. I mean, that's an important thing, I think. You know, facing your accuser in a courtroom, it's an important thing. And there's a reason why that's in there. And now you've got closed circuit and all this, and really, I don't, it gets back to the whole metaverse thing. We're losing a certain level of humanity, a certain level of respect, a certain level of connection every time we do these things. Now, I'm talking to you on a video screen, I know. Thing is, that's the technology that allows me to talk to people. I'm going to use it. But, you know, I go to meetups, and what do? I like to give people hugs. I like to look them in the eye. I like to have a conversation and you know, and meet people, real people, because, you know, I'm all about real stuff, being around real things. That's what I want to be around. So why are you in crypto? Long story, but it was, you know, I realized what cryptocurrency is and the tool that it can help human beings. And it is a more respectable form of money, because what am I going to do? Give somebody a dollar bill that just erodes in value through inflation? Or am I going to give them an asset that is going to increase in value over time and be deflationary to where it becomes more valuable and has more purchasing power? So I see that in cryptocurrency. You're giving somebody something that actually has value. It's more of a respectable, an honorable trade, if you will. So, but yeah, the whole sunglasses thing bothered me. I'm just like, can it be any more of a crap show at this point? I mean, any more disrespect being shown out of the White House and out of Washington and from these politicians, and the ignorance level they must think we have. The Inflation Reduction Act. And how are we going to reduce inflation? We're going to create more money. We're going to create $700 billion in new funding that is not part of the budget. This is just extra money they just created. But see, this is what has to happen. We're going to have more and more of these little packages and bills that have to come out because we're living in a Ponzi scheme. That's exactly what this monetary system is. It's a Ponzi scheme. Every time you create a dollar, there's debt attached to it. That debt has to be paid back. So you got to create more dollars down the road with debt attached. That debt's got to get paid. Pretty soon you got all this debt. You got to keep creating more and more money. But in creating more and more money, you're killing yourself because you're creating more debt to go with it. So it can't end. So that's why they have to continue to create money. And then they lie to you and say, well, it's going to reduce the deficit by, $300 billion over 10 years, $30 billion a year. Are you kidding me? We've given how much to Ukraine in the last month? More than that. And you're going to reduce the deficit, which is, how much is the deficit right now? How many trillions? $20 trillion? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. That's my point. It doesn't matter. It's a decayed, dying Ponzi scheme system. But they come out and they say this crap. And how are they going to reduce it? Well, we're going to increase the corporate tax. If you're a $1 billion company, you're going to pay a minimum of 15% tax. Okay, so your food, everything that company sells just went up 15%. Because that's what they do. They don't pay tax. They just pass it along to the people who are buying the stuff. Who is? Us. And then they're hiring more federal or IRS agents, Federal Reserve agents, pretty much, which... It's a centralized beast. All it's out there to do is bleed you. It's a vampire system. DC is nothing but vampires, and all they want to do is just feed off the rest of us, the producers. That's all they want to do. And they put in the legislation to do it and make it happen, then they lie to you and say it's good. It's good for you. It's good for you. It'll cure what ails you. You got a president that's taken, 2 pricks, 2 boosters, God knows how many more, and then he gets it twice. Twice! That was a rebound case, it was a boomerang case, a rebound, Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you could prick up everybody in the entire world, and you're still going to get it. So what's the point? What's the point? It's control, money, power. That's all it is. You look at the pharmaceutical companies, what they've made, just complete egregiousness. But it's their plan. Oh, and guess what? They have immunity, so you can't sue them if you get damaged. Oh, and guess what? It's emergency use authorization and not completely vetted and, taken through the regular trials. So it's just, it is what it is. It's an emergency. Like the enabling acts in Germany in 1933. It's like, oh, it's an emergency. We need to, protect the people. And then they just go off and do everything and create this war machine and, put stars on your chest and label you. You got your vax papers? Well, you can't come in and have a beer. Can't buy cigars either. You can't do certain things because you don't have your papers in order. And then you've got enforcers that just you give them a suit, give them a badge, and they're more than happy to control people. You've got those people out there because they're like, oh, I'm going to get back at all these winners, these people that, are free. And they don't need to be free because I'm not free. I've never been free my whole life. And now I've got authority. I'm going to come down on you. And it's just always a useful idiot out there. That's what it comes down to. Always a useful idiot. Somebody that feels like they're becoming, something, by wearing a uniform. And you got to be true to yourself, true to your God, true to, whatever you call it, nature, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Can't deny that we come from something greater and we're connected to something greater. So, and it's all inside. So that's why I always say, look inside, look inward. Don't look out here for all the answers. They're already in here. If you believe that you're part of something greater, then you got to believe, if you're made in the essence of God, you got to look inside and realize, okay, I'm connected already. I'm part of it. So, why am I looking out here? Look in here. And yeah, you can look at the trees and all the things, the handiwork that's been created in nature for answers because they're all in that too, because it's all living and, but you got all the answers inside. You don't need to have a uniform to feel better about yourself. I have a little coffee. You know, I hadn't drank coffee for like 2.5 years. I just gave it up. And I said, you know what? I don't know. I like it. You know, it's not bad for you. I don't think. This is worse for you. But I didn't inhale. I tried it, but I did not inhale. That'll date people, you know, and see how old you are if you understand that one. All right, I've rambled for quite a bit. Starting to sprinkle a little. Sounds like it was a great event on the weekend at Oklahoma City with Bix Weir, the road show on Friday night, and then LITECOIN Lisa's Team Mighty celebration for her charity. You can still donate to that charity. Go to litecoinlisa.net, and we'll talk more about it. She'll be talking more about it on her show, 4 p.m. Central Time every day on her channel, YouTube channel, and then Friday, happy hour's back. We'll be talking about it then, and I'll be having a few drinks and smoking a cigar. Probably be outside because the weather's nice, and man, it looks kind of bad back there. Look at that. It looks worse on camera than it is, trust me. He's got a little sprinkling going on right now. But check that out. Hope you join us on happy hour. It's always a good time. It's a great way to bond the community. And I mean, community is so important right now, and finding like-minded people to where you can get through this transition, you know, and get help if you need it. Hey, you know, I need some water, you know, well's dry or whatever, you know, got eggs over here, got this over there, that over there. I want to talk about, I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm going to talk about Seaspiracy. I watched a documentary, and it was eye-opening on Netflix. You should check that out. Seaspiracy. It's a pretty good one. There's a lot of good information in there. So anyway, it's important to just trust yourself. You know, trust yourself. That's the most important thing. You have all the answers inside. You're connected to something greater. Get those answers. You know, you don't need somebody else to tell you what to do. Look inside. Always trust yourself. All right, hope you have a wonderful day. I may make another video today. We'll see. You know, I got a lot of things I'm going to talk about. I haven't talked in a while, so I should make shorter videos, you know, 5, 7, 10-minute videos and break it all up. But I get to rambling, and that's what it is. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. And look into Litecoin. It's a pretty important thing. Sound money for the digital age. If you got anything out of this, give me a thumbs up. You know, and give me a like, subscribe, you know, hit that notification bell too. That way, you know, when I inconsistently put a video out, you'll at least get notified and it won't go down the memory hole. If you like watching me, that is. So hit that little bell and hit that thumbs up and share it with somebody else if you think they might benefit from any of this, my ramblings. All right. Love you all. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and always trust yourself.